Welcome to Military Power News, your center for geopolitical intelligence. We are committed to the truth, the kind that mainstream media doesn't show. Here, every piece of information is strategic, every news item is a warning, and every detail can change the course of history. How far is Vladimir Putin willing to go in his offensive against Prokovosk?
Velika and pobedi, hooray.
Does Russia truly think it can capture this Ukrainian stronghold? How many more soldiers must die for each meter gained? What is happening on the front line that makes Russian recruits publicly warn others not to join the army? This is a death sentence. The picture is becoming increasingly clear. A Russia in shambles, pushing men forward under the orders of Putin's true human meat grinder. The truth is that Putin's summer offensive has turned into a strategic disaster. With each attempt to advance on Prokovosk, his troops get caught in deadly traps. Territories conquered in one day are retaken by the Ukrainians the next, and each village turns into an improvised cemetery for Russian soldiers. According to Euromaidan Press, on September 27, the situation reached such a critical point that Russia loses up to 20 soldiers for every meter gained. That number by itself is alarming. 1 meter is equivalent to just 33 feet less than the height of 2 soldiers standing in a row. And yet crossing that distance has become an almost suicidal mission. The desperation is so great that surviving soldiers resort to social media to send warnings to new recruits. In hastily recorded videos, they say, "Don't fall for psychological tricks. This is not our war." That feeling is easy to understand, since Moscow's orders leave no alternative. Putin demands that his troops advance, even knowing that thousands will be sent to certain death. Mirnarid is now the clearest symbol of this deadlock. For weeks, Russia has attacked the city, believing its capture would open a new angle against Prokovosk, but the strategy has repeatedly failed. Armored vehicles were destroyed before even reaching the first streets. All that remained were infantry soldiers marching on foot toward the invisible wall. A wall formed by drones. These drones are a game changer in the conflict, produced on an industrial scale by Ukraine. There are already plans for FAPCAR, millions per year. In 2026, the country could hit 8 million units due to multi-billion investments from the European Union. This arsenal forms the drone wall, a layered defense that detects, neutralizes, and eliminates enemy forces in minutes. The impact is devastating. Geolocated images confirm Russian vehicles in flames and troops taken down before even reaching close combat. If they somehow survive the drones, they then face a barrage of precision airstrikes from Ukrainian MiG-29 jets. The result is always the same. No offensive achieves its objectives. Moscow is most concerned that Ukraine resists and innovates. Drones, artillery, and airstrikes have combined to create a rare synergy, making the battlefield a laboratory for modern warfare. It's the practical application of the concept of combined warfare, where each weapon enhances the other. The human cost for the Russians is immeasurable. Every meter gained costs dozens of lives and tons of equipment. Still, Putin has deployed 10,000 soldiers to Prokovosk, once home to about 60,000 people before the war. The city has become a symbol of resistance in Donetsk. Every street is marked by ferocity, and every Russian advance is lost in concentrated fire. Moscow still wastes resources on small gains, ignoring data showing collapse. By September, over 210,000 Russian casualties are estimated in 2025. The ratio is brutal. For every square kilometer conquered, more than 124 soldiers have fallen. This statistic is unsustainable and shows that the war of attrition, once thought to favor Russia, has now turned against the Kremlin. Behind the scenes in Nehais, Russians are admitting Ukraine's tactical edge. Dmitry Rogozhin publicly admitted that Moscow cannot compete with Ukrainian drone production, which is 10 times greater. Even with investments in their own factories, the delay is evident. In practice, this means that every new Russian offensive is doomed from the start. This stalemate recalls World War I, with static, bloody battles and heavy casualties, but no real gains. But here, the trenches have been replaced by swarms of drones, more details than barbed wire, in the mines. General Winter, who once favored Moscow, now seems to act against him, giving Ukraine time to further strengthen its defenses. Given this scenario, the inevitable question is, how long can Russia sustain this pace? If each meter requires the sacrifice of 20 lives, how long will it take before the army itself collapses? Prokovosk could become not just another city on the front line, but the definitive milestone of Putin's offensive failure. Ultimately, the answer is on the battlefield. Each passing day reveals that the war of attrition is not only wearing down Ukraine, but also threatens to erode the very backbone of Russia's military. Prokovosk, more than just a strategic target, has already become a historical symbol and may be remembered as the turning point of the war. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe and leave your like. Also comment on what you think about Putin's offensive. 20 casualties per square meter is a lot? How long will he be able to keep this up? Until the next video, a big hug